morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our debate this morning on metrology in the inspection process. AOI needs to become data-driven to work alongside SPI and X-ray to deliver measurable feedback in real time to the placement machine. A panel of global leaders will debate this challenge and chart the course for inspection equipment and its critical role in the smart factory environment. How important is metrology in the inspection process? Dr. Subodh, what is your view on this?
Yeah, our view is somewhat consistent. We are all seeing similar issues as circuits are getting more complex, the parts are getting smaller. Metrology was always an important factor in inspection, always was there. We always collected data, but customers are demanding more and more of the data, particularly the high-end demanding customers. In a way, my view is that semiconductor industry, which is where my background comes from, metrology always played a big role in inspection in semiconductor industry. And to some extent, as substrate like PCBs are becoming, if you open an iPhone X right now, it's hard to see a PCB in an iPhone X. And when you are making those kinds of very advanced parts, metrology plays a very important role in inspection.
Right, right. Okay. Let's move on to my second question. And given the nature of solder paste, is it possible to make every potential defect a data-driven decision?
It's not, I mean, the question is not just can every defect lead to a data-driven decision. I mean, because you are dealing with a statistical sampling here, you are looking at trends. So it is a collective decision of where the process is, what may be happening with the defects, and what the statistical impact of that is. So I do think AI is going to play a bigger and bigger role, and that we definitely see where the demanding customers want to see trend analysis and more of a macro decision-making process on what do these defects mean, how does it impact me overall in my yield and other areas. Yeah. So it isn't a single defect discussion.
I'm just thinking for the doubters, though, that say, oh, this Industry 4.0 thing is a big marketing hype, it's a lot of rubbish, which of course it isn't.
It's a great initiative of the German
The point is that they're wanting evidence of what potential yield improvement they're going to get.
For advanced products, the yields are not at 95%, and in many cases we find like the latest memory chips. Right now there's a serious shortage of memory chips right now in the industry. Everyone is aware of that. Yeah. And there's acute shortage. New technologies are coming in the memory industry, and the yields are not even close to 95%. And in those cases, inspection equipment becomes a critical enabling tool to improve the yields to the 90+%. So these guys are starting at yields much, much lower than 50% right now. And that is a serious issue at the high end of memory manufacturing, for instance. Right. So inspection is a critical enabler in those cases to drive the yields up. So it's not just a question of 95 going to 96. In advanced products, you are helping processes stabilize themselves to get from 30, 40% to 80+%.
Okay, now I think you make a good point. Sure. Dr. Subodh, maybe you can say, do you think that post-placement AOI is going to become a critical element of the smart factory line?
It already is, I would say. I mean, post-placement AOI is a critical component of smart factory line today.
But a lot of people tend to put their AOI post-reflow and rather than post-placement.
So again, it depends on the customer and the configuration, but many of the really quote-unquote smart factory lines are using AOI in the post-placement, not necessarily post-reflow. They certainly have post-reflow. That's how AOI started. We all know that historically. But in the smart factory configuration, I would say many customers who are wandering the trade show floor here are thinking AOI bigger than just a post-reflow.
Okay. I want to thank you all for joining us today. Harold Eppinger from Koyoung, Dr. Subodh Kulkarni, CyberOptics, Carsten Slutsky from Viscom, and of course David Bennett here from Mertec. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much. Thank you,
Trevor. And thank you for joining us.